Hey, I'm Buck. Welcome to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You're looking me right in my eyeballs right now, okay? Think you can't change your life?
So we're talking to Annabelle. She's from a migrant family and had to learn to speak English. She graduated college and became a graphic designer, but didn't want to do that. So she gets her master's in counseling. Now she's a mental health therapist. Wait, how do you get from there to there? So here's a life truth. You have to be agile. I know that word seems scary, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be quick or that you have to know when to zig or when to zag. It just means that you have to be fluid, like water. Let's talk to Annabelle about how she did it. I get real nervous real quick and real sweaty, and we don't want that. How did you find out what you were good at?
By accident. I was that person that would do a lot of different things and I could do them well, but I wanted to be good or great at something, and that took me a while to find that.
Just talking to you right then, I struggled with that so much in high school. I was like, Chris, you're good at a lot of things, but are you great at anything?
Well, who asked you?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Just me.
I think that's part of what we're facing right now, that we don't get asked as often as I guess maybe before. I certainly didn't get asked, but I think it was probably because I was part of a minority group and in a really, really small town, so there's a certain judgment that goes along with that.
I really want to understand more about your childhood, being from a migrant family. What were some of the challenges for you, just right off the bat?
I knew that we were different. We would come up to Idaho for harvest, and for so many months, and then we'd go back home. My mom was, quote unquote, illegal up until I was like 9 or 10. But I didn't know what that meant. My dad, like I said, was working in the fields. I wasn't good at it. I did a day of it, of actual work. I wasn't good. I always had to work harder. The trick for me has been I use things that have never gone as great as motivation and drive.
I'm the firstborn grandchild, I'm the first niece. I always have this expectation to be really, really good at something and always succeed, but I can't.
When they tell me no and say that I can't do what I want to do, it makes me so angry. The way I handle it is I pretty much just say, watch me show you up.
Was there pressure from your family to not go to college, to just go right into work?
Yes and no. I think the expectation was just high school. Again, mom 3rd grade, dad 8th grade. So it was just sort of like, if you graduate high school, we did it, home run.
That's it, yeah.
Exactly. All my friends were getting all the question, well, what do you want to be when you grow up, And I was asking myself that, and I'm like, well, I like to be the boss of something, So I told my dad, I'm like, oh, I think I want to go to college, Dad. And he's like, well, mija, I think you could be a good secretary. I'm like, what the hell? Secretary? I don't want to be the secretary. I want to have a secretary, what? My expectations were
yeah.
And his were down here, and I'm like, ugh. But instead of letting that sink me down and, the self-doubt or the negative self-talk kind of kick in, I used that again as motivation.
So what was your path in college?
I have a BFA in graphic design with an emphasis in photography. That sounds really, really cool.
It does.
I did awesome things with it, not really. I got to my 5th year and I was like, ooh, I don't think this is what I want to do.
You can change your mind and then change it again. You can change your life.
You're supposed to make mistakes. You're supposed to do all these things because that's how you learn how to be an adult.
It's a real world education.
It is. You learn to listen to your intuition. It's going to lead you to right places. I came back to Boise after many years of being gone, and I was working for this program, and my boss like, dude, you got to get your master's, and I'm like, no, because they have the GRE.
Hold on, time out. What the flip is the GRE? The GRE is a test you have to take to get your master's. The Urban Dictionary says it's the greatly ridiculous exam. It's kind of like the SATs, except for it's more evil and more expensive.
And I'm not a very good test taker,
I'm terrified of the GRE.
Yeah, especially the math and the grammar. English is my second language, so it intimidated me. So I'm like, I'm gonna find something where I don't have to take the GRE. So I opened that damn book and I'm like, all right. And there's 200 programs, only 3 you don't have to take the GRE. The other 2 required math, so I ended up with counseling.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, I can do that. And then I had my first session and it clicked, and it was just kind of like magic. You just all right. This feels organic, this feels natural, and that's where I went.
So she's not good at math or taking standardized tests. She sounds like everyone I know. But still, she found a way to get around and hack her way through to her master's. And now she's doing a job she loves.
You just have to do stuff. Experience everything you can.
The best you can do is just kind of go with the flow, or challenge it if you need to.
Out of all that, I learned something. You know, life is fluid. You can't predict. You can't say that you're going to go this direction. You can't say that you are going to get this degree and that's going to be it and that's all you're going to do. You can just look at it as a key. It's going to open up something. You can go somewhere else. And then there you're going to identify something else about yourself. And then you're going to say, you know what? Okay, either I like this or I don't. And either you make change or you don't. People who don't make change, they get stuck. They get resentful. They get, jaded and bitter. But people who go with the flow, then that's cool. And with fluidity, if you look at yourself like water, water doesn't go up mountains. It'll go through it or around it. Water is so strong that it'll even break rocks.
Sure.
So be like water.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're a pond and you're calm, sometimes you're a waterfall, but you're always going in one direction.
So who says you have to settle? Who says it's wrong to work your way through school to become a graphic designer and then change your mind and want to be a counselor or a chef or a dermatologist? It's your life. Get out there and do whatever the heck you want. So go out there and make some waves.